Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmom8.wordpress.com. Today I just wanted to bring you a short video and talk to you about a question that I'm often asked whenever I will review homeschool curriculum or will talk about it on Instagram or on my blog. And that is whether or not I get the teacher's manual to go with the curriculum. So today I just wanted to talk to you about the problem with teacher's manuals. Let me just start off by saying that there are many different types of teacher's manuals. Some of them are just answer keys. Some of them are a combination of lesson plans and answer keys. And some of them are just lesson plans, and then you have to buy the answer keys separately. Now, I don't want to make a blanket statement about all teacher's manuals because I have found a couple to be extremely useful. Beautiful Feet books, for example, even though they don't call it a teacher's manual, the book that you get, the guide to go with the living books, it is a teacher's manual. It tells you different things to do with lessons and, different activities. So in my book, that qualifies. And I know that I said a couple teacher's manuals have actually helped me. And honestly, the only teacher's manuals that seemed to help me was the Beautiful Feet books manual. And let me tell you why. Now, first of all, I think it's really important that we have to admit that homeschooling does not have to look like school. And I know I say this all the time, but it's really hard for some people to just get that concept into their heads. And the problem that I have noticed with teacher's manuals is that they will very often turn education, like actual legitimate activities that will help a child, into busy work. For example, years ago when I got the phonics curriculum that my girls are using, I got the teacher's manual. And honestly, I don't know why I got the teacher's manual for a phonics book. It was probably just because, I was still pretty new to homeschooling, and I thought that you had to get the teacher's manual to go with everything. But, when it comes down to it, you really don't need the teacher's manual, for example, with answer keys and phonics. And if you do, that's a whole other video entirely. So when I got this teacher's manual for the phonics curriculum, at first I tried to do it exactly as the curriculum said. And what I noticed was that this manual, instead of just focusing strictly on the workbook, was throwing in all sorts of busy work that really just took up a lot of time and did not help my kids at all. And that is something that I see happening over and over and over again with teachers' manuals. Is just the fact that they are trying to make a homeschool day look too much like a classroom setting. And really what that is what it comes down to, is that even though a lot of curriculums are written specifically for homeschooling, if you actually look at them, they are written more for a classroom. And whether that's just because they still have that mindset that school has to look a certain way, but it doesn't really help when, if you're homeschooling one child, you don't need to have all of these different activities that is geared for a group, for example. But what ends up happening with a lot of people, and I know that I did it at first with teachers' manuals, was that you want to make sure that you do it right. You want to make sure that you're doing the curriculum as it was meant to be done. And so you will try to work as much of that manual into your lesson as you possibly can, but it ends up actually detracting from the lesson itself instead of adding to it. Now, if you need the teacher's manual for the answer keys, then of course, by all means, go out there and get that teacher's manual. Now for me, I don't get teacher's manuals anymore for math because, my older kids are doing CTC math. So yeah, if my older kids were doing math with a workbook, I would get the teacher's manual for the answer key, of course. But for my younger kids who are using Abeka, I don't need the teacher's manuals for that because we only use it up to 3rd grade. And honestly, I think that it would take me longer to pull out the answer key and to check the answers than for me to just look at them and automatically know what it is. So for me, that's a no-brainer. And I don't get the answer key or the teacher's lesson plan, which has the answer key in it, for phonics anymore either, because again, phonics is just one of those things. It's a no-brainer, and you don't need to have all these additional activities to help your kids learn to read. And very often that's going to just make your kids get bored because they don't want to sit for that long. And I also do not use, someone asked if there's a teacher's manual, I believe, for dailygrams. I'm not 100% sure. And that's another thing. No, we just do it as it is written in the dailygrams book. The answers are in the back of that. So it's not like we don't have an answer key for that. They're written in the back of the dailygrams book. But I do not get like a supplemental teacher's guide to tell you additional things that you can do with it. We keep things very simple. We do the pages that are in the books that we purchase, and the only sort of hands-on activities that we do are unit studies that we, intentionally do, and not something that I'm doing just because a teacher's manual is telling me that I should. So I just wanted to clarify that for a lot of people, especially newer homeschoolers, is that you don't need a teacher's manual. If you need it for the answer key, that's one thing, but you honestly don't need it. Very often it's going to lead you astray, and it is going to make your homeschool look too much like school. And I just want to give one more plug for Beautiful Feet Books. That is the only teacher's manual that I will use, because Beautiful Feet Books is nothing at all like a classroom setting. But just keep that in mind as you're purchasing your new homeschool curriculum for next year, is that you want to keep the home in your school. Your homeschool day does not have to look like a classroom, and it shouldn't look like a classroom, because honestly, if you were going to replicate everything that the kids are doing in school, you might as well just send them there, right? So anyway, that's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. I almost forgot what I was saying. If you have any questions or comments, you will have to go to my Instagram page, because YouTube doesn't like me and still has not re-enabled my comments. But you can always just follow me on Instagram and just ask me any questions, leave me any comments there. And if you like my work, you can check out my Patreon page and see what rewards I have for my patrons there. And I hope you have a great day.